Thought and purpose. Until thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. With the majority of the bark of thought is allowed to drift upon the ocean of life. Aimlessness is a vice, and such a drifting must not continue for him who would steer clear of catastrophe and destruction. They who have no central purpose in their life fall an easy prey to petty worries, fears, troubles, and self-pityings, all of which are indications of weakness, which leads just as you should deliberately plan the scenes, though by a different route, to failure, unhappiness, and loss, for weakness cannot persist in a power-evolving universe. A man should conceive of a legitimate purpose in his heart and set out to accomplish it. He should make this purpose the centralizing point of his thoughts. It may take the form of a spiritual ideal, or it may be worldly object, according to his nature at the timing being, but whichever it is, he should steadily focus his thought forces upon the object which he has set before him. He should make this purpose his supreme duty, and should devote himself to the attainment, not allowing his thoughts to wander away into ephemeral fancies, longings, and imagining. This is royal road to self-control and the true concentration of thought. Even if he fails again and again to accomplish his purpose, as he necessarily must until weakness is overcome. The strength of character gained will be the measure of his true success, and this will form a new starting point for future power and triumph. Those who are not prepared for the apprehension of a great purpose should fix their thoughts upon the faultless performance of their duty, no matter how insignificant the task may appear. Only in this way can the thoughts be gathered and focused, and the resolution and energy be developed, which being done, there is nothing which may not be accomplished. The wicked soul, knowing its own weakness, and believing the truth, that strength can only be developed by effort and practice, will thus believing and once it begins to exert itself, and adding effort to effort, patience to patience, and strength to strength, will never cease to develop, and will last and grow divinely strong. As a physiological weak, okay, as a physically weak man can make himself strong by careful and patient training. Yes, of course. Yeah, definitely, of course. Physically weak. It, as the physically weak man can make himself strong by careful and patient training, so the man of weak thoughts can make them strong by exercising himself in the right thinking. Exercising himself to put away aimlessness and weakness, and to begin to think with purpose is to enter the ranks of the strong ones in who only recognize failure as one of the pathways to attainment, who make all conditions serve them, and who think strongly, attempt fearlessly, and accomplish masterfully. Having considered his purpose, and a man should mentally mark out the straight pathway to its achievement, looking neither to the right nor the left. Doubts and fears should be rigorously excluded. They are disintegrating elements which break up the straight line of effort, rendering it crude, ineffectual, useless. Thoughts of doubt and fear never accomplish anything and they never can. They always lead to failure, purpose, energy, part to do, and all strong thoughts and cease when doubt. and the fear creeping. The will to do spring from the knowledge that we can do. Doubt and fear are the great enemies of knowledge, and he who encourages them, who does not slay them, thwarts himself at every step. He who has conquered doubt and fear has conquered failure. His every thought is allied with power, and all difficulties are bravely met and wisely overcome. His purposes are unseasonably planted, and they bloom and bring forth fruit, which does not fall prematurely to the ground. Thought allied fearless and purpose to become creative force. He who knows this is ready to become something higher and stronger than a mere bundle of wavering doubts and fluctuating sensations. He who does not thus has come to the conscious and intelligent wielder of his mental powers. The doubt factor is achievement. All that a man achieves and all that he fails to achieve is the direct result of his own thoughts. In a justly ordered universe, where loss of equipoise would mean total destruction, individual responsibility must be absolute. A man's weakness and strength, purity and impurity, are his own, and not another man's. They were brought about by himself and not by another, and they can only be altered by himself, never by another. His condition is also his own and not another man's. His suffering and his happiness is evolved and from within. As he thinks, so he is. As he conditions to think, so he remains. Absolutely. A strong man cannot help a weaker unless the weaker is willing to be helped, and even then the weak man mustn't become strong himself. He must, by his own efforts, develop the strength which he admires in another. None but himself can alter his condition. It has been usual for men to think and to say, many men are slaves, and because one is an oppressor, let us hate the oppressor. Now, however, there is amongst an increasing few tendency to reverse this judgment, and to say, one man is an oppressor because they are slaves. Let us despise their slaves. The truth is that oppressor and the slave are co-operators in ignorance, and while seemingly while seemingly to afflict each other, are in reality afflicting themselves. A perfect knowledge perceives the action of the law in the weakness of oppressed and the misapplied power of the oppressor. A perfect love, seeing the suffering which both states entail, condemns neither. A perfect compassion embraces both oppressed and oppressed. He who has conquered weakness and has and put away all selfish thoughts, being neither to oppressor nor oppressed, and he is free. A man can only rise and conquer and achieve by lifting up his thoughts. He can only remain weak and upset and miserable by refusing to lift up his thoughts. Before a man could achieve anything, even in the worldly things, he must lift his thoughts above a slavish animal indulgence. He may not, in order to succeed, give up all animality and selfishness by any means, but a portion of it must, at least, be sacrificed. A man whose first thought is in bestial indulgence could neither think clearly nor pray methodically. He could not find and develop his latent resources, and would fail in any undertaking. Not having commenced to mentally control his thoughts, he is not in a position to control affairs and to adopt serious responsibilities. He is not fit to react independently and then stand alone, but he is limited by only by the thoughts in which he chooses. There can be no progress and no achievement without sacrifice, and a man's worldly success will be the measure that the sacrifices his confused animal thoughts and fixes his mind on development his plans, and the strengthening of his resolution and self-reliance. Definitely. And the higher he lifts his thoughts, and the more manly, upright, and righteous he becomes, the greater will be his success, the more blessed and enduring will be his achievements. The universe does not favor the greedy, the dishonest, the vicious, although on the mere surface it may sometimes appear to do so. It helps the honest, the magnanimous, the virtuous of course, all the great teachers of the ages have declared in differing forms, and to prove and know it, a man has but to persist in making himself a more and more virtuous by lifting up his thoughts, and the larger achievements are a result of that consecrated to the search for knowledge or for the beautiful and the true in life and nature. Such achievements may be sometimes connected with vanity and ambition, but they are not the outcomes of those characteristics. They are the natural outgrowth of the long and arduous effort and the pure, unselfish thoughts. Spiritual achievements and the consummation of the holy aspirations. He who lives constantly in the concepts of noble and lofty thoughts, who dwells upon all that is pure and unselfish, will be surely as the sun reaches its zenith and the moon is full, become wiser and noble in character, and rise into position of influence and blessedness. Achievement of whatever kind is a crown of effort, the diadem of thought, by the aim of self-control, resolution, purity, rightness, and the will directed in thought and man ascends, by the aid of immorality, indulgence, impurity, corruption, and confusion of thought and amended sins. A man may rise to high success in the world, and even to lofty attitude in the spiritual realm, and again descend into the weakness and the rashness, and by allowing arrogant, selfish, and corrupt thoughts to take possession of him. Victories attained by bright thought can only be maintained by watchfulness. Many give Many give way when success is assured and rapidly fall back into failure. All achievements, whether in a business, intellectual, or a spiritual world, are the result of definitely directed thought, are governed by the same law, and are of the same method. The only difference lies in the object of attainment. He who would accomplish little must sacrifice little. He who would achieve much must sacrifice much. He who would attain highly must sacrifice greatly. Beautiful. Oh, beautiful.